Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to another edition of Intuitive Angling. And man, I really appreciate you guys making some time out of your day to swing by and check the video out. Always very grateful for that. And guys, today we're going to be having a discussion on what the heck has happened to the Tokyo rig. Now, if you're familiar with bass fishing, you're very aware of the Tokyo rig, which was like what everybody was talking about 3 or 4 or 5 years ago. But the last couple of years, it's just literally dropped off the face of the earth. So we're going to have a little discussion on that in today's video. Also guys, just real quick, just a big thank you to everybody out there that has been using the links that I put in my description. If you guys go into my description of every video, there's a bunch of links in there, like my tackle warehouse links and my on the water lessons. If you guys want to give something back to the channel and support the content here, that's a good way to do it. So I'll put all that stuff in the description once again. I much appreciated there. Now guys, Tokyo rig, if you're not familiar with it, it's the rig that is on the thumbnail of this video. And to be honest with you, I was never impressed with the Tokyo rig. And I was so unimpressed with it, I got rid of all my Tokyo rigs, so I don't even have one to show you here. But the thumbnail in the video of this video is one of my old Tokyo rigs, from a video I did on it a couple of years ago. Now, if you're not familiar with the Tokyo rig, basically it's just a beefed up drop shot. It's basically you put a worm or a creature bait on an EWG hook, and there was like a 3-inch long piece of pretty heavy wire affixed to a bell sinker underneath it. In other words, it was like a drop shot where the weight was connected by a piece of metal rather than a piece of line there. And when I first saw the thing, guys, I looked at that and says, this thing looks terrible. It's like, if I was a bass, I would never hit it. And that's one of the things that I always try to judge about how good a lure is. It's like, I put myself inside of a bass's mind, and if I was a bass, would I bite that or not? And I've never, ever liked the way a Tokyo rig looked. I never liked the way it looked in the water. I just thought it was like one of the worst bass fishing inventions ever made. And of course, I know I'm going to get a bunch of comments. People say, Randy, you don't know what you're talking about. I've ripped them on a Tokyo rig. Well, I could say this, guys, I could take a hot dog and put a hook on it and tell you the same thing. And some guys would tell me I rip them on a hot dog with a hook on it. So I'm not paying much attention to that. But anyway, guys, this Tokyo rig, about 5 years ago, that's all you heard. People, Tokyo rig and Tokyo rig. I caught them on a Tokyo rig. And then all of a sudden, last 2 years, it's literally dropped off the face of the earth. I've not heard anybody even mention the word Tokyo rig in the last almost 3 years. Why is that? Well, there's 2 different reasons for that, why the Tokyo rig has fell off the face of the earth. Number one is because I just don't think it was that effective. I think it was very situational. I think that there were other lures out there that were just as good. I've never seen a situation where you couldn't throw a Texas rig or a power shot. Now, if you're not familiar with the power shot rig, guys, most people know what a drop shot is, which is a little worm with a small weight below it, drop down with a piece of line. A power shot is just a beefed up drop shot, heavier line, bigger baits, that type of stuff. So I never saw a situation where I felt that a Tokyo rig with a big honking piece of wire would be more productive than a power shot on top of that. And I fished it a little bit, and I simply could not catch nothing on it because it looked like crap in the water, and I just couldn't catch anything on it. But I kept hearing people catching stuff on it. So I think a lot of it was the fact that it was new, it was from Japan. Guys, when any new technique comes out from Japan, the Japanese anglers are so revolutionary in a lot of their innovation that anytime something comes out from Japan, people automatically think it's going to be highly productive. Not so much for the Tokyo rig, in my opinion. But I think even more so than the fact that I think it was an overrated lure was the fact that nobody fishes it because everybody is live scoping now. It's like there's not a successful tournament angler out there that has had any consistency over the past 3 years that wasn't spotlighting for bass with a weenie worm or a little bitty swim bait. People just don't use those type of baits anymore. Nobody's flipping or pitching. Nobody's power shotting. Nobody's Tokyo rigging. Nobody's spinner bait. Nobody's throwing a chatterbait anymore, hardly. Everybody's just out there glued to their video screens, having technology, hold their hand so they can catch some fish. So people don't need things like Tokyo rigs anymore. But I think that you're going to see that. I think the Tokyo rig, I don't ever see it making a comeback again. I think that it was sort of a flash in the pan, and it was sort of like just a situational with a little small window on it. It never really took off like the way people thought it was going to take off. But I think what happened is when this thing came out 5 or 6 or whatever years ago it was, there was a lot of industry buzz about it because people thought they were going to make a buck, you know, making Tokyo rigs. You know, outdoor writers thought they were going to write about it and create this buzz, and it just didn't work that good. And I think it was just one of those lures that sort of fell by the wayside as a result of that. So anyway, guys, I'll tell you how impressed I am with the Tokyo rig. I got rid of all my Tokyo rigs. I don't even have one anymore because I thought it was just a waste of my time to fish them. So I'm sure there's some people that disagree with that. I'm sure I'm going to get some comments saying that, like I said, I rip them on Tokyo rigs and I got, you know, loads of them in my boat and all that type of stuff. But anyway, for me, guys, my personal opinion is don't waste your time. Lots of other better lures out there to catch bass on. So hope you guys are doing well. We'll talk later.